Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. As always, thank you for joining me. Today's video is going to be our session 13. And, again, as always, we're going to pick up right where we left off at the end of the last one, which was our heroes Vega and Zargo setting outside a house, staking it out, waiting to see if anybody comes or goes. Speaking to the caretaker at the cemetery, the little root leshy named Jade, he gave them the address of the person who paid for the mausoleum. Now, the reason the mausoleum is important was because this is where Amari met his contact, Venneth, a male lizard folk, to sell the clan dagger to, and Vega is interested in getting this clan dagger back. So, they sit outside this house, watching and waiting. And after a while of waiting and talking, Vega and Zargo, I assume Zargo is questioning Vega a little bit more about the rebellion that she admitted to being a part of. She tells her a little bit, but as they are conversing, and just as she's getting ready to tell her a really good part, they see two brutish-looking people walk up to the door. Very suspicious-looking. Both of them looking over their shoulders, making sure nobody's watching them, but of course somebody is watching them. They both slip inside the door, close it behind them. Zargo and Vega waste no time. They themselves make their way up to the door, checking down the streets to see if anybody's watching. Nobody is. Zargo cracks the door just a little bit and peeks inside. Nobody can be seen on this floor. Now, this is a two-story building, at least, possibly a basement. Zargo peeks her head inside. She doesn't see anything but darkness. So a little bit of light spilling through the boarded-up windows. It appears to be an abandoned house. If anybody does live here, they make no attempt to keep it clean or orderly. Quietly, Zargo inches the door open and sneaks inside. Vega right behind her. They hear a commotion coming. Alright, we'll say upstairs or downstairs. We are currently we're at a 3 chaos factor, I believe, which is no bueno in my opinion. Maybe one day I'll just put it at 5 and keep it at 5. Vega's ears perk up. She can hear something coming from down the stairs. Zargo, she kind of whispers. Down here. Down the stairs here. I can hear something. Voices, maybe. A little bit of muffled sounds. They make their way down the stairs, and around the corner, they peek and see a lizard folk man, bound to a chair, and the two figures they saw enter this house, standing on either side of him. What are they conversing about? Let's find out. 91, reassuring, and 79, and odd. Reassuring and odd. One of the figures is looking at the other one, and back at the lizard folk. What he's saying, Vega and Zargo can only hear bits and pieces of, but they can hear, "Don't worry. It will all be fine soon. Everything will be better after we turn you. After our mother gives you her love." And the other one just kind of laughing in a deep booming laugh. And they see a piece of charcoal in one of their hands. They begin making marks along joints in different places on the lizard folk's body. And instantly, Zargo and Vega remember seeing very similar marks on the body of the dwarf that they saw in Amari's office. So, as they see that, I think Zargo and Vega are both going to try to sneak up as close as they can and get some initiation going. So, Zargo and Vega are both going to sneak up and get an attack in before they are noticed, and hopefully end this fight before it even begins. Now let's roll just to see how tough these guys are going to be. I'm just going to use my simple little chart that I have for my dungeon rooms, but I'll just roll my red d12, and that will tell us what level threat these guys are. Ooh, an 8. Okay, it's just going to be a moderate. So I have 40 XP to work with. Let's see what enemies we can come up with. So I am going to use the Orc Scrappers, but that's just going to be their mechanical name. Let's see what ancestry they actually are. So I'll just roll twice on my little NPC random roller I have. So we have a half orc, okay, and another lizard folk. Okay. And they are both female. We'll go with that. I like it. Okay. So this one is going to be, the half orc is going to be red. And we'll make the other lizard folk blue. I'm going to roll all 4 initiatives at once just to save a little bit of time. Alright, we have our initiatives rolled. Let's get them in order. Zargo's going to get to go first, followed by the red Orc Scrapper. I'm calling them orcs, but they are not. One is a half orc, so that the red is the half orc and the blue is the other lizard folk. So and then Vega, and then the lizard folk last. And I am going to give the tied up lizard folk a turn. I'm just going to make them go last, so I'm not going to worry about rolling them in initiative, and I'm only going to give them a chance to break free of their bonds. When it comes to it, I'm probably just going to give them a flat 15 to break out. Gives them a chance, but it's not necessarily that easy. So let's get started. Zargo was behind Vega as they came down the stairs, but she's going to move ahead, which makes sense tactically, because if they do get caught before they're able to strike, Zargo will be able to take the brunt of the damage. So 5, 10. So her second action, she's going to move 10, 20 foot to here. Vega's first action, she's just going to move to here. Now they're both ready to go. I think Vega's going to use her second action to actually strike. Vega gets behind this half-orc woman as she's starting to draw another line on the lizard folk. Vega strikes with her short sword. So she's going to make an attack roll with a +8 for Vega. And this creature is off guard because they do not know that they are there. So it's going to be a -2 to their AC. Oh no, that's still not good enough. So Vega misses, but she has one more action. I don't think they're off foot anymore, which kind of sucks, but she's going to strike again because she gave herself away, missing another 2. Holy cow. Alright, well, she misses her second strike as well, but now they are fully alert. Next, we have the blue orc. Seeing this, the blue orc turns to Vega. Her attention's instantly drawn to Vega, but out of the corner of her eye, she sees a giant, fully plated orc is standing right behind her. Which one is she gonna attack? Does she go after Vega? I'm gonna say that that's likely. No, she's gonna attack Zargo. Alright, right behind her. She makes a strike on Zargo. A 4. That is gonna be a miss. This lizard folk woman has a knuckle dagger in her arms, or in her hands. This lizard folk woman has a knuckle dagger in her hands. She swings at Zargo, punching nothing but metal. She catches the edge of Zargo's shield for a miss. She's gonna strike again. Oh, with a 12. This is an agile weapon, so it's only gonna be a -4 to her attack, leaving a +3. It's gonna be a 15. Another miss as Zargo throws her shield, pushing it out of the way. What's the last action this woman gonna do? I think she's going to attempt to shove Zargo backwards, just because it's kind of catching her off guard. So she's going to make an athletics. And this is technically an attack, so it would be her third attack with a -10. So that's going to be a miss. She's just kind of wrought with fear, or surprise, more so. And that was all 3 of her actions. We are going to give a flat 15 for our lizard folk in the background. Oh, nat 1. Oh, they are stuck tight. And actually, with that nat 1, I'm going to say they are unable to try next round as well. So, we are back to Zargo. Zargo, ready to fight with her sword and shield in hand. She swings with her first action with a 7, but that's going to be a +10, I believe. Yes, so that's going to be a 17, and a 17 does hit. Zargo is able to make contact with her first swing with her D8. 2 plus the 4, that's going to be 6 points of damage. As Zargo's sword strikes true. I forgot to roll where. Where does Zargo hit? 5, right in the left leg. She's trying to cripple this orc in case they try to run. Just go ahead and strike with her second action as well, with a -5. Ooh, a nat 1. Alright, she misses wildly, but with her last action, she's going to pull up her shield and use her, well, raised shield action. After dodging Vega's initial attack, this orc comes back with a retaliation strike with a 6 plus their 7. That is not going to be enough. They might be outmatched in this fight. This half-orc is going to attempt to grab Vega and kind of put her knife up to her throat if she can. So she just has a simple knuckle dagger in one hand, so she does have a free hand, so she's able to do this. She makes an athletics check. Ooh, a 10. And this is also a attack, so it does have a -5 to it, because if she would have tried this originally, which would have been better if I was better at playing. So it's a DC 15 she's trying to beat. And she has an athletics of 5, and she rolled a 10, but it's -5, so she only gets a 10. Oh man, she would have done it on the first attack if she had tried. But she misses as Vega just kind of slaps her hand out of the way as she tried. Her last action, what is she going to do? She's going to, I guess she'll just try to swing again. I really need to figure out some more strategies other than swing, swing, swing. But that's going to be a miss as well. Vega's turn. She's going to try once again to strike at this orc. With a 19. Oh, that's going to hit. I'm sure that's going to be a crit. 19 plus 8 is a 27 with their AC of 15. Is it 15 or 16? AC of 14. Oh yeah, that crits. So Vega is able to make solid contact. And where is Vega able to hit? She's going to roll her D6. And she gets to add 4 because of her finesse. And this is going to be in the right leg. So she just kind of comes down hard right on the thigh with 10 points of damage to this orc. And that was only her first action. Her second action, She's going to try to thrust right towards the chest. I mean, if she hits the chest, maybe she does, maybe she misses. Either way, she's going to try a thrust attack. It's her second action. Ooh, it's going to be a 6. It's going to be... So -4, so we'll just get the 10. Nope, 10's not going to be able to do it. And last action, she's just going to swing away. Why not? 13 is not going to be able to do it. We're back to the lizard folk woman. She's still fighting Zargo, not making much way. She's going to strike at Zargo. She's just going to do 3 strikes. Eight and a 7 is only a 15, which is a miss. Strikes again. Strikes again for an 18 and a miss. And a third and final strike, a nat 20. She is able to make contact. Now, is that a crit? Let me do the math real quick. So 20 minus 1 is 19 total. So they would have failed. So a nat 20 doesn't always guarantee a critical success. It just bumps up the degree of success from what your hit would have been. Now, even with a 20, this was their third attack, which would put them at a -1, so it would be a 19 total to hit. Zargo's AC is currently 22, so it would have missed, but this is going to bump it up to a normal success. So they don't get double damage, but they are able to make contact. And that's going to be a d6 plus 3 piercing damage with this knuckle dagger in her hand. And she punches right between the sword and shield into Zargo's... Wait, where does she hit Zargo? 5, right in Zargo's leg. She's able to come down and kind of... Zargo tries to block her attack, but she ends up just kind of like hitting the forearm of the lizard folk, plunging the dagger into her left leg. Zargo is up. Zargo kind of groans with a little bit of pain as the dagger pulls out of her leg. This infuriates Zargo. So she's gonna make a swing at this lizard folk woman in front of her. So much so that she's gonna use an action that I haven't used because we've hardly done combat in this series, which I don't like because I like combat. But she's going to use an action called Vicious Swing. It's going to take 2 actions, but she gets to make a melee strike, and this counts as 2 attacks when calculating the multi-attack penalty. But if the strike hits, you deal an extra damage die. So, Zargo, rage, she power swings. With an 11 plus a 10 is going to be a 21, and that is a hit. Not a crit, but it is a hit. And she'll take it. Now she gets to roll 2d8. Where does she hit with her 2d8? Man, we're hitting a lot of legs. This is a leg hitting session. Left leg again. I'm pretty sure that's where she hit this lizard folk woman in the last round. And that is going to be an extra damage die. So I just get a roll, and then I add my 4. Okay, cool. Sorry. Been a while. So I get... It's going to be a total of 17 points of damage. Yes. Which brings this down to 0. Zargo's able to cleave almost all the way through the left leg of this lizard folk, cutting right into the soft bone, pulls her blade out as the lizard folk falls to the ground, bleeding and dying. Zargo does have 1 action left. She is going to rush to the aid of her fellow friend by flanking, so a 5, 10, 15 foot step behind, throwing off his guard. next up, we do have that half-orc woman. See, she is surrounded. What is she going to do? Her teammate just fell. I'm going to give her a chance to run. I'm going to say it's likely. Does this half-orc woman try to surrender or run? 39 is going to be a no because of the chaos factor, unfortunately. So no, she does not try to run nor surrender. She is going to keep fighting. Why? Because the dice said so. So she is going to strike. She's going to continue fighting Vega. Or actually, no, I'm going to say she's going to turn to hit Zargo because Zargo just killed her friend. It's going to be a 12 and a 7. It's going to be 19, and that's not enough to hit Zargo's heavy plate armor. This woman chose the wrong orc to strike. Second action, a nat 1. She didn't even get to swing that time. She's just so ashamed and distraught from seeing her dead friend. Her third action, she's going to strike again, because apparently that's all we do in this game is strike, strike, strike. 17, third strike. It's going to be at a -1, so a 16, of course, does not hit. Vega up. She's going to take this chance to strike. This creature is off guard, so I believe she will get her sneak attack damage. Vega with her short sword throws a strike. That's going to be an 8 plus an 8. That's going to be a 16, and it hits. She's able to roll a d6 for her weapon damage, so she's able to roll a second d6 for the sneak attack damage. And this is going to hit in the left leg. What do you know? So we got 6 plus 4 for her dexterity bonus. So that's going to be 10 points of damage, and she is able to bring this in the left leg again, of course. She's able to bring this woman to 0 hit points as she also falls to the ground. Is Vega going to cast Stabilize on this half-orc woman? Because this could give them a new prisoner, someone else to interrogate, somebody with information. I'm going to say, we'll say 50-50. On a chaos factor 3 only gives us a 25% chance of a yes. But does Vega attempt to stabilize this orc? 28, wow, almost, but no, she doesn't. She doesn't even care. She kills this orc woman. Okay, after these two orcs fall, their attention is brought to the lizard folk, who is still tied up. And they are probably gagged as well, so they're unable to speak. Zargo quickly unties the binds that are around their mouth, and they untie the arms and the legs of this lizard folk man in the chair. The man kind of rubs at his wrists where the binds were, and he looks up to our two guard heroes.
Thank you. You come at a great time. But what are guards doing here? Surely you did not just come out of the street on your own goodwill. Nobody even knew I was down here.
No, we did not actually know that you were here, but we were staking out the place. We got your address from the caretaker at the cemetery, so we were following up on that. An investigation led us here. You wouldn't happen to know, or would you happen to be, the man Venneth?
Yes, I am Venneth. But what is it to you? I have not broken any laws, though I am thankful that you came to the rescue.
Actually, no, you have not broken any laws. It is a different reason that brought us here.
Vega kind of cuts Zargo off. Vega steps up right in front of the lizard folk man.
I am looking for a clan dagger. I know that you bought it from a man named Amari. It was stolen from a good friend of mine, and I am gonna take it back, one way or another.
Ah, a friend of yours, you say? This is interesting. Because the reason I bought it was because it belonged to my lover. Why would you have any interest in it?
Because Dordan was my friend. I knew her for a long time. I am part of her clan, and it is customary to return a clan dagger to their clan when one of them has deceased.
I am aware of this. But you see, the reason I bought it was because Dordan was my lover. She was my betrothed. We had been together a few years now, and recently she went missing. I knew she was a part of your rebellion, but she did not like to talk of that. She just liked to spend our time together and keep her mind at ease. But after she had gone missing a few days, I heard talk in the market area of a planned dagger for sale. And the way it was described, I knew that it was Dordan's blade. So I inquired about it, and I set up a meeting to meet this gnomish fellow. He did not tell me his name, but Amari, as you have said. I arranged a meeting with him, and I purchased the blade. And as he went away, I attempted to follow him.
Was Venneth successful at following Amari? I'm gonna say... we'll say it was 50-50. Was Venneth successful in following Amari back to anywhere helpful for us? 84 on a 50-50 is a no. It's not an extreme no, but no. So I'm thinking
I followed him to a drainage ditch, where he disappeared into a sewer gate. I attempted to follow him even further inside, but the darkness was too great, and there was no way to track him any further. I wandered the sewers for what seemed like hours, seeing no trace of anything. So in disgust, I returned home. But it seems I was followed back home. The past couple days, I felt I was being watched. And then last night, I was attacked by these two that you have slain. And they tied me up down here, and they left, saying they would be back to perform some kind of ritual. I assume that's what they were doing when you rescued me.
Vega looks at the lizard man. She says,
I have some bad news then. Dordan was found dead a couple nights ago. We too found that same drainage ditch, and we entered the sewers. But we were lucky enough to find our way through, and we found Amari's hideout. And when we located his office, Dordan was in there, but she had already passed away. It seems whatever ritual they were going to perform on you, they had already done to poor Dordan. She was filled with flies that reanimated her body, and we were forced to defend ourselves against it. I am sorry Her body was badly wounded. We were unable to recover anything. I am glad you found her clan dagger. But if you would kindly return it to me, I can take it back to her clan.
No. I will use this dagger, and I will get revenge for Dordan. I will personally place it into the heart of this Amari man and any other man that had a hand in her killing.
So Zargo agrees to let this lizard folk tag along with them, but it's going to have to be off the books because the chief is already breathing down both their necks. Vega's job is on the line. Zargo has a bonus potential out of this, and now our lizard folk buddy wants vengeance. So all three of them have a reason to continue this. So we are gonna stop her there. That fight took up a little bit of time for this episode, so it might be a little bit longer than normal, but we made a little bit of progress. We had some combat. All in all, that was a successful session in my opinion. So thank you anybody who is still watching and anybody going to join us in the next session to see where our heroes and their new friend end up. We're gonna have to find a way to get to Amari. So adventure lists. We now have Venneth the lizard folk, who I have down here. I added Varger the wolf, the the wolf telling the stories. If you watched my first, I think 4 sessions, he kind of narrated the beginning. I've kind of veered away from that a little bit just because it's some extra work and I'm kind of like running out of ideas for that. So instead of having 2 different stories in one episode, either way, he might come into play here and there just kind of as a background side thing because he learned all these stories. I think he is part of the stories. I think that would be fun. Threads list now. We'll type it. Why not? We need more. Vengeance for Venneth. Cool. Awesome possum. Our next scene is going to be find Amari. How we're going to do that, I do not know, but we will figure that out. We will say that's going to be scene probably like number 8. We'll just start at 8 from there. So, end of the session, bookkeeping is done. We will add up the points. I believe they are at 500 XP now, plus 4. So 540 XP is going to be what our heroes are at. And we'll stop it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time on Rolling Solo RPG.
Thank you for watching Zargo's Tale. We will see you again next time. Goodbye, friends.